Hi, good morning. My name is Jeff Orrock here at the National Weather Service in Wakefield. Going to do the weather briefing, really this Monday briefing, taking us through most of this week. Looks like it's going to be a quieter week compared to the last couple of weeks that we've had with some rounds of severe weather and even some pretty decent cold front. So we'll kind of get right into it and kind of talk about what currently is going on. Still have a few lingering showers, kind of as expected, trying to make their way across the region. So you see here. I'll put this more in the center, maybe a little easier to see. Let's go back to this, make it full screen. You see some showers here coming across, the interstate here, moving towards I-95, and going to continue to slowly move east. So could see a few little more showers here as the day goes on. It's going to take a little bit while for all this kind of push offshore, but not expecting any more type of severe weather or any more really heavy rain as far as that's concerned. Let me get these windows out of the way. Everything came back in there for some reason. So really interesting last night. We obviously had a lot of heavy rain set up. This is the actual rainfall radar rainfall analysis. I'll turn the legend on here so you can kind of see what's going on. Really had a pretty good heavy swath of rainfall set up, and I'll turn let me turn my counties on here so you can kind of get a little better sense for what fell where. All right, so you can really see here, definitely across from Emporia up through parts of here in Sussex, getting up into Prince George, New Kent, even getting up here into James City County. You really obviously see these darker yellows, even some of the pinks, suggesting that we had anywhere from 4 to upwards of maybe getting close to 6 inches. And we are getting some reports from 5 inches of rain here. Had some good training that set up, so a lot of flash flood warnings were kind of issued in this corridor here, and that really set up. We had the round come through early in the day, and then we had another round come through last night, and that really set up this band of heavy rainfall. Even got over here towards Smithfield, not as much rainfall, but you kind of see where a band set up here and was going across Newport News and Gloucester here for a little while. But by far, really, if you go up here to Maryland, up towards Salisbury, from Salisbury here all the way down through east of Richmond and getting the Middle Peninsula here towards Williamsburg, James City County, back to Emporia, and then kind of continuing on down towards Roanoke Rapids and Weldon and kind of running down I-95 and getting more back towards, here towards Raleigh, east of Raleigh. Had a really good heavy band of precipitation set up and pretty much widespread 4 to 5 inches, in some places between 5 and 6 here. So it looks like the radar really did a pretty good job as far as that's concerned. Other thing today that we're looking at looks like a potential tornado down there near Woodville in Perquimans County. So we're down there surveying that. Definitely does look like a tornado. So they're down there looking at the damage that occurred to some mobile homes down there from last night about 3 in the morning. So that kind of recaps what happened last night. We're in much better shape right now. We'll kind of go through all the bullets here as we go through the briefing. Walking through the weather pattern for this week, it is a much quieter week. So that's kind of good news. So if I kind of just get to today, the front's pushed offshore, a little wave of low pressure, forming along the coast. That's why it could be still a little bit breezy along the coast. Winds are going to pick up a little bit later tonight, but this continues to move on offshore and high pressure starts to build in. You kind of see later tonight, this is actually getting into about 2 in the morning at low pressure offshore with some high pressure building in. You see those isobars kind of tightening up along the coast. So that may give us a little bit of a northwest wind here tonight. Nothing too strong, just enough to be a little bit breezy. Get into tomorrow morning. I'm definitely starting to see high pressure starting to build back in. And by tomorrow evening, kind of still have high pressure over us. So tomorrow should be a better day, more seasonable, definitely less wind. And you see the next big storm system coming across the middle part of the country. So by Wednesday morning, that's moving up into parts of, starting to approach the Ohio River Valley, not quite there yet. I've been moving through parts of Missouri here, starting to lift towards the northeast. And we have big low pressure offshore. So we're kind of just in between two systems here on Wednesday. So Wednesday should still be nice. Jump ahead to Thursday morning, and now you see that low pressure system that was, basically here over parts of western Missouri has lifted up into the Great Lakes. Now we have a cold front starting to approach from the west. So Thursday really is the next day where we are expecting maybe some showers. Not sure we'll really see any thunderstorms out of this, but we definitely going to see some showers here on Thursday. So Thursday is our next wet day. By the time you get into Friday, that front's going to have blasted way offshore. It is going to get pretty breezy again Thursday night and especially through the day Friday. And again, we get this low pressure system that goes from the Great Lakes and it kind of moves out here off of New England and you have high pressure building in from the west, and we get kind of squeezed in between those two. So some pretty good northwest winds again later on in the week, bringing some cooler air for Friday. And by the time we get to Saturday, high pressure kind of builds, across the region, and another weaker system starting to move across the Ohio River Valley for Saturday. And then by Sunday, that's kind of continued to lift to the northeast and kind of weakened as it goes. So that may not be that impressive of a system. So our next big weather maker is going to be, I'd say, on Thursday, with some pretty good wind behind that on Friday later on this week. But until that point, the week actually doesn't look too bad. This is just kind of some of the lingering showers that are moving offshore. We're going to see maybe a quarter, maybe up to 1/10 of an inch of rain. Some places might see 2/10 of an inch. This is the winds for today, so it may still get a little bit breezy, even into tonight. Not too bad, peak wind gusts around maybe 20, 25 miles per hour, maybe gusting up to around 30 miles per hour near the coast. You kind of get an idea here of the winds this afternoon, this evening. By the time we get into tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, winds will be decreasing. And then by tomorrow evening, we're down to only about maybe 5 to 10 miles an hour. So just a little bit breezy, nothing like what we saw yesterday with some much higher winds gusting up to 30, 35 miles per hour. Had a few little gusts here at about 40 miles per hour, depending on where you were. So just a breezy day, but nothing too bad. Kind of looking ahead to the temperatures, each day we are, I'd say, somewhat seasonable and then actually warming up middle of the week to above normal. So with those north winds today, kind of the cool air coming in today and tonight, you definitely see tomorrow is just a hair cooler than today. We're cloudy today. Tomorrow's, I'd say, just kind of seasonable, 50s and 60s for the most part. We do see a warming trend Wednesday and Thursday, so starting to get back up into the 70s, maybe even mid 70s, both of those days. And remember, that cold front comes through Thursday. So we're going to get that chance of rain here on Thursday. You can already see we have some likely chances of precipitations here on Thursday, about 60 to 70% chance of rain already. And so warm ahead of the front comes through. We get some rain, and then Friday, quite a bit of a cool down. At least from Thursday to Friday, dropping from this mid 70s back down into the mid 50s. So about a 20-degree drop. And of course, with that is going to be a lot of wind. When that cold air rushes in, expect those breezy conditions late Thursday night and especially Friday morning into the afternoon, going to be pretty breezy. And then things warm up a little bit for the weekend. For Saturday and Sunday, we're back up into generally the 60s for the most part. Before I was going to time out the rainfall, so we kind of look at what's called the national blend of models here, so we can kind of just get an idea of when the next chance of rain might be. So this is Wednesday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Obviously, we're dry. Got some rain coming across parts of the way out west. And because you step ahead in time, Wednesday stays dry. Thursday morning, 2 a.m., maybe the rain's starting to approach the mountains, and eventually kind of skirts in here Wednesday afternoon. Right now, it's not showing much precipitation at all. Maybe just some light scattered showers coming through here Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening. This is from about 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Maybe we get a 1/10 to a 1/4 inch of rain as it pushes east across the mountains. So maybe enough just to get things wet. And it looks like it kind of starts to push offshore. Here's Friday at 2 in the morning. And by the time we get into Friday, 8 a.m., the rain looks like it'll be offshore. So kind of our best chance of rain does look like Thursday. Maybe get some showers, I'd say late morning and especially through the afternoon is our best chance for showers. System does not look dynamic right now. There's no risk of severe weather or anything with this. So far, so good. We'll keep an eye on it, but looks like it's just going to be a cold front with some passing showers. So no big concern there. Going on to the marine side, things are still a little bit breezy out there. You saw that. So we have, high probability of small craft advisory conditions really everywhere today, mainly today. Really no probability of gales, see very, very low probability of maybe 35 knots winds along the coast. So really no gale probability, but we are going to be seeing a small craft advisory conditions, at least for a little bit today and into Tuesday. So here you see today, all the orange represents those small craft advisory conditions. So that will kind of hold in for today and even into tomorrow with that northwest wind. Tomorrow morning, you do see those small craft advisory, a lot of orange here on the map. So still see those small craft advisory conditions. Wednesday looks like to be the lightest wind day as the high pressure is overhead. It does look like the winds will be a little bit lighter here on Wednesday. And then when you get into Thursday, you start to see more red popping up here on the map with that northwest wind, especially Thursday night. Get that northwest wind behind that front Thursday night. Might start to see some potential gale conditions on the Chesapeake Bay and out here on the ocean, and see that lingers into Friday. I'd say late Thursday night into Friday morning is probably our best chances for getting our next round of gales if we get there. Could be marginal, gusts of 35 knots, sustained around 25 knots. So, but that will all be a northwest wind Thursday night and probably through most of the day on Friday. So just kind of looking at the peak winds here that take us through Thursday, 8 p.m. So this is really with that next front. Kind of see here winds getting up to about maybe 30 to 32 knots here on the bay, and getting up to about 34 knots by the time you get to the mouth of the bay and out here on the coastal waters. So that really is kind of geared toward Thursday night, because this goes through Thursday 8 p.m. We're still going to be breezy right now, but not this strong. This is really the wind that we're expecting Thursday evening. So kind of breaking it down, day by day here at the different locations, definitely see that northwest wind continuing. In fact, if you do notice on the waters, the northwest wind does increase a little bit this evening between like 6 p.m. and about midnight. Notice how those winds do go from about, let's say 20 to 25 knots, getting up to about 25 to 30 knots. So we are going to get another little surge of cool air later on this evening. Again, 6 p.m. till about midnight, maybe till about even 3 to 6 in the morning. The winds are actually going to increase on the waters, but still be below gales, just getting up to about maybe 25 to 30 knots there, a little bit stronger than we have now. We get that break in the wind that we talked about here on Wednesday, and into Wednesday morning, southeast wind starts to pick up. And then right ahead of that front Thursday afternoon, those south winds pick up to about maybe 20, 25 knots, maybe starting to gust to 30. And then you see that front comes through between 6 p.m. and midnight. So 6 p.m. Thursday to midnight Friday, that's when that cold front comes through and we get that next surge of cool air. And that does look to be a little bit stronger. So you're seeing more winds in there of about 30 to upwards of 36 knots. So could be close to gales. We may have to bump these winds up a little bit. We'll keep an eye on this. We got a little bit of time, but that's our next period there of wind. Doesn't last very long. It's just windy on Friday, and then by the time we get into Saturday, the wind has decreased quite a bit. So it looks like really just a brief surge of some stronger wind late week with that cold front, and potentially some low wind gale conditions. So we'll keep an eye on that. The rivers, they get a lot of rain last night, and so we've had a few rivers really respond. These are the ones that are maybe, especially the one here on the left, Nottoway at Sebril. A lot of them are responding quickly, but this is the only one that looks like it may go above flood stage, getting up to about 17 feet, and that's not until later on this week. But we are seeing a lot of good responses. Here's a Blackwater at Franklin. Here's a Casheye at Windsor. So we're seeing some responses. Stony Creek has also got a good response on it, but pretty much most gauges are staying below flood stage. Just here at Sebril, looks like we will actually sneak up above flood stage. And looking ahead, to the 8 to 14 day outlook, kind of near normal temperatures to maybe slightly below. You saw that, we get warm midweek, but then all of a sudden the next cold front blasts through. And this is valid March 24th to March 30th. So right around normal temperatures. Maybe a chance we see below normal. As far as precipitation is concerned, I'd say right around normal. There's a low probability that we could see slightly above normal precipitation going out to the 8 to 14 day outlook. So we'll see. But overall, looks generally seasonable. Maybe kind of stay in this kind of pattern where we're seeing a front coming through about every 5 days or so, bringing us a chance of showers and some cooler temperatures. It's March. Also, you will probably mean we'll see the winds coming back about every 3 to 5 days. The winds will pick up after a couple of days of calmer weather. So very, very, very typical for March with these fronts just rolling through one after the other. And so that's all I have for today. Our next briefing will be on Thursday, and I'll just leave up the bullet points here so folks can take a look at the highlights for this week.